so our voice are the only thing that matters. Yeah.
Should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're live. Starting from this moment. Okay. So I don't see that many people have joined. I don't know, because I don't want to open another tab for the live stream, but it should work, I guess.
Yep, it's working. So let's.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I will have a little disclaimer first in Vietnamese for my viewers. So it should take like 1 minute. Ok, được rồi. Với những bạn nào mà là viewer của tớ ở channel này thì các bạn sẽ thấy hơi lạ, là tại thứ nhất, một là tại sao tớ lại làm cái podcast này bằng tiếng Anh, thứ hai là tại sao lại có một người Mỹ trong podcast. Thứ nhất là người Mỹ, đó là bạn tớ, ảnh là admin của một cái group farm làm rất là lớn. Thứ hai là tớ làm podcast này bằng tiếng Anh, bởi vì rõ ràng là ảnh không thể nào nói tiếng Việt. Và thứ ba là kiểu như là tớ cũng biết là trình độ tiếng Anh của các bạn cũng sẽ khá đủ để mà có thể hiểu những gì tớ nói, nên là tớ cũng sẽ không lo lắm về vấn đề đó. Nói chung là cũng chỉ là số này thì tớ làm cái podcast sẽ bằng tiếng Anh thôi. Với những số sau thì podcast sẽ quay trở lại tiếng Việt như bình thường. Lúc đó một phút nó sẽ trôi rồi bình thường, các bạn đừng lo. Rồi. Okay, so the disclaimer's over. Let's just start with this stuff. Okay, for the new folks that's joining in this podcast. Yeah. So
we're here to talk.
Yeah.
About waifu. We're ready to.
We're not there yet. We're not quite there yet. I'm about to do an intro and stuff. So for the new folks that
that makes it all the. Is that not?
you know you have a voice of an angel. You know what? Okay, so for the new folks that probably join in this stream because Crystal put up that link on Skill Center. Hi, my name is Jake. You can call me Jake or Confidence because that's the name that I use on this channel. But I also have another identity on this channel. That is Lycandoge, and I use that identity whenever I do contents that related to gaming and like English foreign stuff, because as you can see, my channel is primarily for like Vietnamese. So just a little disclaimer there and like a little intro of mine. But you know, today we're here to talk about the new Nintendo Direct, and especially the new Fire Emblem Three Houses trailer we got. For my long-time viewers who join in this stream, you already see my first reaction video and my first analysis video on this channel. So this will be kinda the continuation of that, but it's not, because this stream is in English, of course. But you know, today it's a discussion, so I will not talk about this alone. Today I will have a friend who is like the admin of one of the biggest Fire Emblem Facebook group out there right now, and he's a really close friend of mine. So say hello to the folks, Crystal.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are we all doing today? Are we ready to have fun? Fun under the sun?
You know, Crystal, you're not chess, so you can talk normally now. Because every time you use that voice, I just imagine chat in this with us, and it kind of creeps me out a little bit.
I'm just having fun, man. I'm just right.
Yeah, that's Crystal for you. He all about having fun. and waifus and like husbandos and stuff. Okay, so today our topic mainly will be Fire Emblem Three Houses, of course, but we will have a little section at the end to talk about the direct overall, and it's only about like the things that we like about this direct. We will not like play the whole direct and like dissect everything like the other YouTubers. So okay, I think we will start with like opinions. So I think we will talk about the oh, I see one more folks joining our stream. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so we will talk about our overall opinion about the new Fire Emblem Three Houses trailer first. I think I will let the guests talk first. So what do you think, Crystal? What's your overall opinion about this new trailer we got?
So I'm gonna say this much. I feel like the trailer gave a lot of information in regards to backstory and can give us a bit of a good prediction as to where things are going. A lot of people are speculating and memeing that it's probably going to be a very intimate teacher-student relationship story. and
I like that you use the word intimate.
and memes and jokes aside, it will potentially be getting more political, as people have been demanding for a story like that for a long time. Fire Emblem has deviated from that for the last couple of entries. I think that the trailer certainly gave small hints and pieces of information here and there. So because there is speculation of, you know, things like the thing from oh yeah, the fatigue system. That's the word I'm looking for. This fatigue system returning.
Yes, definitely like something that akin to the fatigue system. We will talk about that in a minute, but you'll carry on.
Throw food at you, so you have a raid the food cat.
Wait, Chris, on your word, your voice kind of cut out a little bit there. Say again.
So
wait. So wait. The folks say that your volume is a little bit low. So let me just bump that up. Okay.
Right ahead.
Okay. It should be fine now. Okay.
We apologize for the inconvenience. But back to what I was saying.
Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue your talk.
Certainly happy to see how that is done, because when it was done in Echoes, it was not done that well. But hey, I'm here to see what happens with the game. Overall, I think that the trailer gave quite a bit of information if you were willing to go out of the way and hunt. Also, you get to fist people, so that's a highlight.
Yeah. Like.
So, what's your opinion?
Yeah, like to me, this trailer, like, first of all, this trailer confirms one thing that I'm sure really hope that it doesn't confirm this, because you know, like I always talk to you like before about the potential of this game could be like a testing ground for a genealogy of the Holy War remake. And like the newest trailer like debunk all of that because I barely see anything that can be adapted to a genealogy of the Holy War Echoes remake in the future, because you know like all those movies like in the you know the Cloverfield movies, correct? Yeah, like you know the Cloverfield movie. Those movies like those movies not connected at all to each other, but because it in the same franchise, you kind of get the vibe that it is similar, but it's not. So I'm kind of disappointed on that front, because I think the stuff that they show in the previous trailer we got back at E3 could potentially serve as a testing ground for a genealogy of the Holy War remake. But aside from that, everything else in this trailer looks like, let me just quote gas station here, revolutionary, because you know, folks always call this game Fire Emblem Hogwarts Edition, or like I titled this video, Harry Potter and the Emblems of Fire, because you instantly got like the Hogwarts wizarding school vibe from this new trailer, and yeah, like that's not a bad thing, because we need new stuff, and so I'm really hopeful on that front. But aside from that, like the fact that we also have an avatar with a special power and a pivotal role in the story makes me really worry, because we could potentially have Corin 2.0, and I really hate that, because I put so much hope into this game already. I can maybe I need to tone down my hope a little bit, but that's just my thought, my overall thought. I think it will be time for us now to look at the trailer, and hope that we can dissect anything from this. Okay, where the fuck is it? Fire Emblem Three Houses trailer. Okay.
Sorry, I'm alive. I'm alive.
Yeah. Okay, let me just mute it. And just turn. Let me just turn on the screen share for Crystal to see. Okay. Oh yeah. Do you see what's on my screen now?
See?
Yeah. Oh, so it should be fine now. Okay. So we will like analyze this trailer, like not really frame by frame, but yeah, we will look at every detail that this trailer could have got. And I'm sorry that I cannot play this trailer on stream, because Nintendo ninjas will come after me and claim my video. So I apologize for that. Okay, let's begin. Okay.
I'm all
so yeah, you see the trailer as I am, right?
I see a.
Okay.
That was Naui the first time they introduced her.
Yeah.
God, was I wrong?
Okay, so first of all, the first thing you see in this new trailer is this like Noe like girl that sits on the throne in the last frame of the last trailer, and well, me and other people, including Crystal, speculated that she could be Noe, but an adult Noe. Actually, it's not exactly her. It's the woman with the green yellow hair at the beginning, in the cutscenes of the first trailer. Not exactly this girl. I said that Noe could be that girl, because like her attire and like her expression kind of look like an adult Noe. But I guess if this girl is a Noe, that means that the other girl cannot be Noe either. So I feel like Crystal have a lot to talk about this.
Oh boy. So first time when she initially dropped, I have to say, I got pretty chewed at by a few others, thinking, oh, because it's like long green hair, pointy ears, and she's small, that it's probably like, I don't know, a continuation of Naui in like some alternate universe or timeline that kind of deviates from Awakening, and
Okay.
it kind of like. I know it was a weird first thought, but it was the first thing that came to mind. But I have to say that looking at her now, I believe her name is Sophis.
Sophis, yeah.
I believe that. Yes, I believe her prominent role will be something along the lines of a tutorial. So the equivalent of another Anna, but not Anna. So she'll be like she might be the big plot device that's kind of guiding us along the story to like help us out. Maybe something in regards to like information on the lore of the world or something like that. You know, kind of like a free guide that pops in every now and then. You know, the equivalent of Naui, but less obnoxious.
No. If you put it that way, I think have you seen Mang's reaction to this trailer yet? Because he said something. I think you might agree that this girl served the same purpose as Lilith in Face. And I know you are a sucker for Lilith, but like this girl kind of like can get.
Listen, unless you're taking DLC into account.
Yeah.
But let's face it, not many people have played the DLC.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Yeah. Like I haven't played the DLC either, but I watched Phoenix Master one.
But for context, in
Crystal, your voice cut out again. Hello?
And she was essentially the guy was, you know, meant porn because it was there's this whole bunch of
Crystal, stop a bit. Your voice cut out like really bad. Just now. Okay. You can speak again. Hello? Hello? Are you there?
I'm alive.
Yeah.
Yes, I.
Oh no! Crystal is a robot. Crystal is a robot. I think this screen sharing stuff is a bad idea. I think I will just turn it off because it really affects the internet right now. So
we apologize. Audiences are connected at the moment. Kind of expect maybe one or two small cutouts here and there.
Yeah, it should be normal around because like my internet is like just like potato net. Okay, you can say the whole section again because it cut out really bad before.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're sorry for any inconvenience. Crystal, are you there?
That she would probably similar role. Big difference is that lists, fortunately, because only wrong wording there. Meaning, I'm gonna see that
Crystal is a robot.
Main role in the list, which in this instance, or the three main and the other two names. Bailiff, Edelgard, and the other two. Do not remember them.
Oh wait. Now it's normal, but before the stuff before you said that Edelgard and the others, all the stuff you said before, it's cutting in and out. So just be short because I know you don't want to repeat yourself the third time. Okay, it's Crystal. Let me just hang up and call you again because.
Alright, go. Yeah, by all means.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're sorry again for any inconvenience because you know I'm in Vietnam and he's like halfway across the continent. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Crystal, are you there? Crystal?
Yes.
Are you alive? Are you with us now? Are you a human again?
I hear you. I'm alive.
Yeah, right. it should be working
Yeah,
now.
there
It
we
should be
go.
working now. Okay, okay. So I hate to do this, but can you repeat yourself again?
Hey, it's no difference. Just like my high school days.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Potato internet. I swear to God.
If
Oh, okay,
more so
okay.
potato hearing, but
Just
sure.
repeat yourself now for real, for real.
All right. So I'll repeat myself and say this much. When it comes to Sophis, I think she will be playing a role as potentially a plot device that helps lead and feed information. As Lilith was intended to be in Fates.
Yeah.
The only difference is that she won't be as useless. Hopefully.
I know your heart hurts a lot when you say Lilith is useless.
I will still love Lilith regardless, because she is a small girl that deserves hugs.
Yeah.
I cannot
Lilith
deny
deserves
that
more than just an accessory in Heroes.
I am still going to be salty about that. Stop treating her as an accessory, by God damn it. Stop!
First an accessory on like Hoshiden Sender, and then later on she appeared as a background in the hostile Spring banner, so yeah, I kind of feel you there.
She's a goddamn golden mask. She is a mask. Give her justice. Give her justice.
You know Lilith is the daughter of Anon Kos, so I won't be surprised if she will appear as a mythic hero somewhere along the line. So
nah, she doesn't play that much of a major role enough for that. If Duma set the standard.
Except if you play the DLC. Except if you play the DLC, then she will be revealed as somewhat an important figure. But yeah, you're right. She's not that important, to be honest.
I'll just give it about 2 years and then cry in a corner when she finally comes out.
By then, I mean by then maybe Heroes already dying out. So.
No, Heroes wouldn't die out that long. There are gachas that get like 50,000 active users, and they're still going for like a year. I believe one of them is Brave Frontier, actually.
Yeah. Oh wait, but we sidetrack a little bit, but yeah, we do think that this girl will serve as a guy. Like my opinion is like almost the same as you, because when I heard Mangs say that this girl would serve the same role as Lilith, I also think just like Mangs, because like you, the avatar, the player character, only you can see her, so it will be really convenient if she is the one that shows us how to use our power. Second, how to like utilize our strategy, our like gameplay mechanics, or something akin to Anna back in Path of Radiant, just like you said before. And because the My Castle feature in this game is like the school that we teach, I don't think that it will be like a convenient plot device like you said, because you know, I think the school setting will last only for like 10 chapters, and later on a war broke out and like everything went to shit, and and you know, because it would be really like really what's the word not sensible, insensible to like you know, the war broke out around you, and the school that basically unites all three kingdoms just function properly and normally without any affection from the outside world, and yeah. I don't think that will be the case, because they did that one time with Face, and it because it's some space-time shit. But this time it's an actual location in the map, so I don't think that will happen again. So I think that this girl will just serve as our guide for like the first couple of chapters, and later on she will be like more important to the plot. And you know what? Now that I think, now that I look at her, I think she and the woman that holding the legendary sword in the previous trailer, they probably has some kind of connection. Maybe that woman is this girl's daughter, or like they are the same people even then. So there's a lot of things we can talk about Sotis, but let's just continue with the trailer. And the logo has been changed to match the previous titles. Personally, I don't like this because to be honest, I like the first logo that they give us more, because you know, like simplicity is the best. And I kind of like the font that they use for the first logo, because you know, the first logo kind of gives you the vibe that this game will be different from the rest of the other games, and this just looks like a generic Fire Emblem game. So to be honest, I don't like this. I don't like this new logo. But what about you?
Me? Well, first off, I certainly do want to give my thoughts to that, but I do also want to address questions from the viewers, and they are asking, how do you what do you think about staves being replaced?
Okay.
I'm not sure. So I will say this up front: I do not think staves will be replaced unless they will treat it like echoes, in which case it is entirely possible.
Yeah, we do see like some kind of healing magic later on in the trailer, like fake magic or something.
So I wouldn't entirely rule out staves and just say that they're outright gone, but it is a possibility. And if they are gone, I hope that they treat it similarly to echoes, in which case I would say it's pretty decently balanced, but at the same time also kind of provokes for turtling and other such strategies.
Because from the trailer, because it's a later detail, but I will address this here now. I don't know if every healing magic in this game will work the same way or not, but later on in the trailer we saw a character heal Violet, our avatar, and not losing a single drop of HP. So I doubt that it will work like Echoes, but I think Echoes will have some kind of impact on the way that healing magic work in this game, because we do see that many combat in this game were inspired by Echoes, and you know, that's a fact, because you know, there's combat arts and stuff. we learn from the previous trailer. Also, we get to the part that the narrator kind of introduced the continent of Falkland. We now see more clearly the territories on this map, because the previous map they kind of, I feel like the previous map they kind of rushed it out for the trailer only, so the details on that map may be a little bit obscure, because first of all they rushed it, second of all I think that because they want to hide some important details on the game, but I think they kind of mess up a bit, because on the previous trailer, the map that you can see, they also have the family crest also present on the map, and in this map they are all gone. So I think they mess up the story a bit. No, the spoilery part of the story a bit, but you know, because we don't know yet the importance of the crest to this game, so I think that I will give them a pass. But what do you think about the setting of this map and like the countries and stuff? What are your thoughts?
It reminds me a lot of Revelations. Like I'm saying that outright, and this is a weird comparison to draw, but
yeah.
So let's imagine in a world, Vala wasn't actually a place full of fucking zombies and a whole bunch of other dead stuff that wanted to kill you and then turn you into one of their own through very creepy means, which I shall not speak of.
Okay.
And it was just another kingdom. It was another kingdom, right? And they were all, in this instance, going to school and, making peace and mingling and stuff. I think that along the lines, since they said later on in the trailer that you would have to choose a lord to follow, Edelgard and the other two, because they're totally important for me to remember.
Yeah.
I think that you'll probably be following a similar thing where you're bouncing between the countries and kind of traveling along like you did in Revelations to try and garner all the sides. So I don't know, say destroy all the crests and all of that because they are forms of power and apparently are corrupt.
I feel offended.
So I
feel really offended because we don't get to use Slytherin. We only have like Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw in here, and we don't have Slytherin. Why? What did Slytherin do wrong? Why?
Yeah, but the question
is,
so carry on. The question is, which side holds the MILF? That is the very important question we have to answer here.
You know what? I saw the important details in this trailer, but the most important detail only the true god of waifus can see.
Who is the new Camilla? Who is the new?
I think we already see the new Camilla, but let's just continue on with the trailer. Also, my thoughts on this map is that I don't know if you feel the same way, but this setting instantly remind me of Fire Emblem 7 Blazing Sword. Because the Holy Kingdom of Fargus is essentially Etruria. The Leicester Alliance is essentially Lycia, and like the Adresian Empire is essentially Bern. You see, like the three power, and other than the three power, there are like several small other countries. Just like Elite, and for a sec, I thought that they will announce that this game will be a sequel to an Elite game or something. But seriously, I think they just took a page from Fire Emblem 7 and realized that many people like Fire Emblem 7. So they put a similar scenario into this game, and you have an alliance of nobles. You have a holy kingdom, and you have a big empire that like the biggest powerhouse in this region. And I also find the setting of the school really interesting because this reminds me a lot of Sacred Stone, and Fire Emblem Sacred Stone is my favorite game of all time. Fire Emblem, I
most certainly.
I tell you that already. I think, but the setting of the school kind of like the setting of like the academy in Sacred Stone, because if you remember from Sacred Stone, we also have an academy that nobles from all over the continent of Macvale come to study, including like Prince Ines of Frelia. We have like Ephraim, we have like Leon, and we have like Erica, and all the other nobles, including like the son of right now I cannot remember his name, but he's a boss that we have to fight in Ephraim's campaign. And speaking of school, let's just move on to the next session that we that we will be introduced to our avatar Ballet, and you know, we talked about this already, but this trailer confirms Ballet to be our avatar, and to be honest, I cannot remember why we see this character as the avatar before, because if I remember correctly, in the previous trailer we don't have any indication that Ballet is our avatar, other than the fact that we see him roaming around in overworld. And because you know, in Echoes we can also control Orm and Celica in the dungeons as first person and like roaming around in the dungeons or whatever. So I wasn't consider Ballet an avatar in the sense that he can free roaming around in the overworld, because Orm and Celica can also do that in their game. But now we have solid confirmation, and as you see on the thumbnail of this stream and also what you are seeing right now on the screen, I put female Violet here because like I love her design. I really love her design. I don't know why folks talk shit about her design, but I love her design. I really like this design, and you know, I actually have some theory about our avatars, but I will just let you speak your thought first.
So, I will say this much: I don't mind another avatar being in here, seeing as I am a Fate's Awakening fag at heart.
Yeah.
Despite so I'm very, very intimately familiar with this concept, being around for quite a while. Yeah. I think that the avatar is definitely not going anywhere because people have taken a massive love to having a custom character having around. But the question is, how much of a prominent role will this character take, and how much will they utterly cuck the other three lords at a spotlight? Because you have three different levels. You have Chris level, where if you die, nobody gives a crap.
You know, we don't talk about Chris anymore.
we don't speak of Chris. Heroes never acknowledges Chris, so therefore he does not exist. Then you have Robin level, which is an avatar that plays a role in kind of a supporting lead role, but doesn't take away from the main character until you get to the Grima arc because reasons.
Yeah.
And then you have the Corrin level, which takes a more prominent and established role of being the main character.
And everybody just suck your dick.
Yes, because sucking dick is a very joyous aftertime for many people. Apparently.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Charlotte sends her regards. So the question is, will Baelith either be a Chris level or a Robin level? Because considering the backlash from Fates, because there's a lot of mixed reception.
Yeah.
I'm personally thinking that it will be something along the lines of a Robin level of avatar.
Yeah.
But I also do wonder, how flexible will the reclassing be for the avatar? Because it doesn't look like it will be that.
Yeah, about the reclassing, I also have another theory, but you finish? You finish?
Yeah. And I do want to mention, I absolutely love the default designs for the avatars.
Yeah. I also love their outfit, their default outfit, and by the way.
So, but I just genuinely hope they don't fuck up the male designs like they have been the last two games, because a majority of the options have always looked extremely ugly and edgy, and I'm not trying to sit here crying in my own skin.
No, actually, I think the option for like male Corrin back in phase was really solid, to be honest. Because if you reclass male Corrin into a paladin, he has a very fucking beautiful outfit. I really love Corrin's paladin outfit. It's so fucking beautiful.
See, the one thing that I really hate is the hair options. That's the only thing that really pisses me off. So I
So
always go default
someone mock the way you pronounce Bailet, Bailit.
And I'm just hoping that it'll be, you know, better than any of those options and actually look better.
Yeah.
Because I usually am not one to regard anything to be like as an anime thing, but it has anime hair. I can't deny that.
Also, well, we had anime hair back even before Mark was a thing.
Don't speak of that. We don't speak of that.
Okay.
Speak of work.
It's okay. So I will just say this: both male ballet and female ballet, like maybe I don't know if this will be like a bold claim or anything, but I think like Bailet's design must be the best avatar design we have so far, because like Corin is just like what was just like trying too hard to make an avatar look cool. Robin is just was just not trying hard enough, and like Chris is we don't talk about Chris anymore. So I feel like Bailet's outfit both works as a like somewhat of a Jagan figure and a mercenary.
Yeah,
because
I can see that.
Because you know our avatar essentially play the role of Jagan in this game. I don't know if you noticed that, and you know when everybody found out that Jagan is a Bailet, I think Mecha would have shit his pants.
So instead of playing as an avatar or playing as a Jagan, yeah, sure, I'm down for that. Oh, there's a question from what house will you choose in 3 houses?
Yeah, I already saw that. I intend to answer that because after this. But which house will I choose in 3 house? I think I will go with Edelgard. It sounds really generic because you went to the house with a chick, but because I think like Edelgard's house will be somewhat of a more important role than the other house, because I don't know if you noticed this, but like IS promote Edelgard a lot more than on the other 2 lots. You know, the first trailer she was the narrator, not like a character like this trailer. And she spoke up like a special bond between her and the avatar. So I kind of want to go with Edelgard just for the sake of the story, because I kind of feel like if we go with her, we will get the best ending or the best story of the game. Which will say a lot, because we don't know the story will be good or bad. So I just want to have the best experience as possible.
See, I'm personally thinking, do I go for story or do I let the power of my balls choose? Because if you go with
the power of your balls, you will choose Edelgard like me.
No. Female Jotaro. There is a female JoJo character named Dorothea, and I love her already. The hat makes a difference.
And she is in Edelgard's house, so.
She happens to be in Edelgard's house, so the question is, can I slide up in those DMs and have a fun?
I don't know, because some folks already said that they will choose like the house that has the blonde chick with the blonde chick that appeared in the first trailer. Like I believe her name was Mercedes. I don't know, like. I saw a majority of folks chose like Klaus or Dimitri's house, because they believe that chick belonged to that house.
A reminder that deer and lines are for total squares. We go with the pride of America, because if you look close enough, Edelgard looks like a literal representation of America. She has the blue eyes and the red white trimmings and all that. She has that. Edelgard is the essence of America.
USA.
She is
USA.
USA. She even has the eagle to back it up. Edelgard is American. She's a true American at heart, and we know this.
You know, Arthur might have a word with you. Arthur might have a word. Okay, but like on jokes aside, I think like I genuinely think that if you want the best ending or the best story of the game, you should choose Edelgard's House. Because I think despite the branching part of the game that borrow from Phase, it will not be like Phase. I think the house choosing is just like temporarily you will get to like unite all three houses against the common evil later on. The house choosing just to give you the sake of like replayability and like diversity. So I don't think it will affect that much, but you will get some kind of replayability out of that. And not to mention the fact that every student that you teach are your units, and they are all villagers, they are all trainees, because you get to choose their class and stuff. So yeah.
So I do want to go off of what you just said in regards to the trainees. So, so there's something that comes to mind, and that's the fact that there is a huge dispute in Fire Emblem games, usually when it comes to unit balance. So I do want to mention, is there a possibility of them just all being trainee units to balance that out? Do you think that's genuinely possible?
I think it will work something like the Echoes Villager, because the Echoes Villager are essentially trainees, but they have shit girls in comparison to other units from the other games.
Like a couple of trainee, your entire class are all just trainee units that can reclass into whatever the hell they want.
But like to be fair, we don't know that. We will have how many students in our class. It maybe will just be like 5 or 6 of our units. So yeah. Sorry, I have to lower my voice a bit because my parents already fall asleep. Okay,
by all means.
Yeah. So let's just return to the avatar because I haven't given my thoughts about Ballet yet. I think that our avatar will serve some role just like Robin, but have elements of a silent protagonist like Mark. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, Mark. You know the tactician that follow Lin back in FE7, because you know we already have a setting that akin to FE7. Why not just make the avatar make the avatar work like Mark? Because if you notice that because if you notice that in the previous trailer and this trailer, Byleth didn't say a thing. He didn't spoke any word, and I think that is the best, because a silent avatar will just like be like a character with the personality that we want, not the game want. The game only give us the context and the like the powers and the origins of the avatar, but the personality is us for the choosing. Like judging from the trailers that we got, I believe we also have something like akin to a choose our own adventure system, because you know the mantra for this trailer, like the narrator lady spoke up, is like your very own adventure, and I really believe that was the hint that we will get to have like something akin to a choose your own adventure, like a kind of Telltale Games-esque system or something. And something there are also something I noticed about the avatar is that our avatar like look perfect to be a silent protagonist because if you notice, male Violet has like the look of an edgy kid and like a really cold, hard person, a really like distant person that will not speak much. And the appearance of the female avatar will, I think, looks very much like somewhat of a caring, a like serene woman, something like akin to the player character in series like Pokemon or something. And I think that is for the best because with those personality you cannot mess up much if your avatar does not speak a word. That is just my thought and my theories. Who knows? Maybe Violet actually speak in the next trailer, but I believe that Violet, as of now, Violet can be somewhat confirmed to be a mute avatar, and I like that.
You know, I'll be frank with you. I don't like that approach. I myself that this is the point where you and me disagree. So there's been a consistent pattern with all of the avatars so far, and it's that they do have a predetermined personality and actions that they wish to take. I personally speaking want them to do that, but maybe have more flexibility in dialogue options to they at least allow the player to have a perceived, at least like a fake perception of having choice, because let's be honest, a majority of the time when it comes to dialogue options, many times there are going to be avatars that, while are customizable physically speaking, you'll just have alternative dialogue options like in The Walking Dead, and they lead like similar scenes. So I would kind of like that, to be honest, because it's at the very least fun to see different reactions come out of characters.
Yeah, and it will definitely add more replayability and flexibility to your
and it will most certainly add a little bit of more to it, unless you're a lazy guy and just go on YouTube to watch all the reactions, which can shame on you. But then again, who am I to talk when I do that myself?
I'm about to say that. But to be honest, the things that you said like also the things that the developers for Fire Emblem Fates wanted to do with Corrin. They wanted Corrin to have like different personalities and stuff, but it will change the story of the game, and I just say that they have too much on their hand, and they didn't know how to like properly handle it, because you know, in the character selection screen back in Phase, you can choose to have your avatar have a certain face personality and such, like stern, like childish, or like you know those stuff. So I think that was their attempt to make somewhat a personality to the avatar, but because the story is the same, it just end up being like something not necessary and just like a headcanon thing in the mind of the players and not actual game. So
I want to clarify one thing. The big issue with avatars is not the fact that they exist, but because of the fact that intelligent systems does not clarify that this is only a physically and mechanically custom avatar, not when it comes to character. Because every avatar has had their own predetermined personality and stuff like that, and because of the perception of things like JRPGs that we have total and full control. Like, I don't know, in something like Monster Hunter, where you can literally go and do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, because that game is a little bit different. It's in JRPG, but it's also open world and stuff.
I mean, let's be honest. At this point, Fire Emblem may as well just be considered another JRPG, but on a much more massive scale. Because Nintendo IP, that's really huge. So they have to clarify that for players, and I think that it would also receive much less clash if it were the case. Because people never notice that. They think that, okay, since this is an avatar, I get complete and full control of everything they do. No, you don't. That's not how Fire Emblem games have ever worked. They've always had a linear storyline, unless you consider killing Shura for boots a deviation from such a thing. Because boots are so valuable. Hey, boots are important. I like my shiny leather boots, man.
Killing an old man for a boot. What kind of person are you?
Someone who values stats over people, because, let's be honest, other people on the internet have no value. Nothing. Seriously, please. Cherish your friends. Cherish them. They're good people.
You know
don't kill them for don't kill them for boots. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
You know there are folks from Skill Center who would hear this and will meme it into existence. You know that. Okay, so I think we'll stop on the avatar long enough. Let's just move on to the next thing I want to talk about. Is like the Church of Zeros. Do you think that they will be the dark power that the trailers keep talking about, or there will be something more? Because I kind of feel like this will only be a red herring, because you know that there is the setting of the continent that we have a church and we have a main religion, and all the other countries worship this church or something. And back in Echoes we thought that Doomer was the bad guy, but it's not. It's actually the corruption of the Vairagan, and the Doomer faithful was the true bad guy. And in some extent Miller was also the bad guy, because Miller was the one who instigated the whole thing with the Faucian was sealed and whatnot. And because of that, I don't think that the church will turn evil later on. I think that the dark power will be something akin to like a Lopterian cult back in Genealogy of the Holy War. Because back in Genealogy, the main antagonist of that game was the Lopterian cult, and the Lopterian cult does not present themselves as a main religion of the region. They like influence other people from all the other houses and nations to do their dirty work, and like they just hid in the shadow waiting to like make an incest joke and just spare Arvis and Deidre and make it love the whole again. So I sense like something akin to that in this game, in the sense that the Church of Zeros itself is not evil, because I think Zeros is like something like a Altina, the first empress of Begnion in the Telios game. I think Zeros will be like presented as that role. And the setting of this game also remind me of Telios, because I think that Sotis and the goddess of this continent will have a relationship akin to Yun and Asherah in the Telios games, because that's the only way you can explain why Sotis is important, and she clearly looked like a Manakit girl. So yeah. What's your thought on the church?
So personally speaking, I think that the church, it was mentioned heavily several times, and also showed off a bootleg Azura, as well as the head of the church.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
It will never be the same. It will never be the same. And
no one can replace your waifu.
Nothing can replace her. Nothing ever will. I may enjoy other characters, but Azura is all I ever come back to at the end of the day. It's beautiful. But I genuinely think that it might be something akin to Echoes, if you ask me, because I will admit it that I am not as familiar with Holy War stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I can't exactly like make connections there without like getting tons of spoilers, which I will not be
and again,
totally
you
happy
really need
with.
to play genealogy though.
I'll get to it like in maybe 20 years. I'll get to it eventually.
Okay.
Personally speaking, I think that that they'll try to maybe do like two sides of the church, one that's corrupt and one that isn't. Because an issue I had with Echoes in its own right is the fact that the church itself in the game, it was done. Well, one could argue that it's done for simplicity value, but at the same time, there's no massive there's no massive gray or black and white area which people love to reference in Fire Emblem. As a thing, because storytelling has always had that is a consistent piece in FE storytelling, at least from what I've seen. And I'm hoping that maybe I'll see, a little bit of transparency there. I mean, it's obviously the church is going to play a big role. There's going to be a whole thing with the Senate from what's his face, the blonde lord, the one with the bow and arrows.
You know that this game is not Telios, right?
Yeah,
there will be no Senate in this. There will be no Lycandoge in this.
There was a whole thing with the church, not the church, the country that's just run on nobles.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to be playing a part. I see it as something akin to Radiant Dawn.
Oh yeah.
In its story. Yes, so I could see that.
Now you mentioned Radiant Dawn, I also remember that the setting of this game also kind of similar to Telios, because you can deduce the Leicester Alliance as the Lagus Alliance, and like Empire, Empire as Bagnian, and the remaining country as like Crimea and Dane and other stuff. So yeah, you're right. I think maybe this game has more similarities with the Telios games.
The Telios games more than anything. I could see it because of the fact that Telios is really extremely popular these days.
Yeah.
Not because of furries or anything, because
thanks to the Ike the buff.
You say that, and yet furries exist. The furry community exists, and if there's
it's not my fault, because literally the entire foundation of the Telios game are furries.
Hey, if someone wants to yiff, you let them yiff.
Okay, carry on.
I can't judge. I don't know anything about them, so if you want to let them yiff, then do it.
Okay, just carry on.
Alright, but in all jokes aside, I think that the church will definitely be playing a more not black and white, but with more gray area to it, and not be like Echoes, because I didn't like the execution of that, and I hope it isn't.
Yeah, I also think that the execution of the Church of Mila in the Mila Church, or what did they say, like the Temple of Mila. I don't know what the religion in Echoes word called, but just call them the church. I also didn't like how they execute the Church of Mila, because aside from like a few characters like Silk and Irma, we don't really get like a clear image of what the Church of Mila would be like, because if a whole nation follow a sole religion that is to serve Mila, they like I only think that like a totalitarian rule.
I'm just going to assume that.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that the Church of Mila is just about free food and hugs. That's what I envision. That's the Church of Mila. and maybe an occasional
come here, serve me that, and you will get free hugs.
Free hugs and the occasional orgy.
Well, you are creating images in my head, my dude.
Hey, I blame the Fire Emblem subreddit for that. I blame the R34 subreddit for that.
Okay. Also, I love a detail that they call the school that the officers' academy, because officers are like usually the leader of troops, and in this game we have the formation mechanic, which every unit is the leader of their separate group of troops, which mean they are indeed officers. So like I really appreciate like small details like that add to the overall story, the overall setting of the game. But like the houses, we already talked about this. Also, like Edogar being referenced as the sole heir and the future emperor of the Adresian Empire makes me think that the current emperor of Adresian Empire also be a girl, and more specifically her mother. And I think that her mom would be something like related to like the women that we saw in the recent trailers. Maybe also one of them, because I talk about how Edogar seems to have a more important role in compared to the other two lords, and she was the narrator of the previous trailer, which feature the woman with the legendary sword very heavily. And the first thing that we see of Fire Emblem Three Houses back at E3 is the opening cutscene, and the opening cutscene seems like I don't know about you, but that vibe just give me like a vibe of like an empire goes to conquer other countries, and we have we do have an empire in Portland. So I think those two things may be related. I don't know, but that's just my 2 cents about it. Yeah. Let's just skip the Three Houses part. About the characters. Do you have someone like in particular you have a strong impression on? Besides Dorothea. Besides Dorothea.
Nope, definitely Dorothea. JoJo memes for life, my boy.
That hat makes the difference. Speaking of Dorothea, like before, I told you that you told me that we don't know who is the equivalent of Camilla in this game, and I think I already know who. It's your girl. I think it's your girl. It's the
so there are two females I have my eye on. The head priestess of the church, the Axel Church or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because Zura bootleg, and I love blue-haired girls.
Wait.
And Dorothea, because of that goddamn hat.
I think her hair was green, not blue. Yeah, her hair was green.
Close enough.
Actually,
close enough.
It's something of a mix between green and blue. So yeah, you kinda right.
So I mean, close enough. Her and Dorothea, because of that goddamn hat, make
JoJo memes for life, bruh.
I mean, that hat, man. If TF2 taught me anything, it's the fact that hats are very important in life.
And I don't know if I'm the only one who saw that, but from the moment that I saw Dorothea, I instantly got the vibe that she is the Camilla of this game. I mean, like her fan art are already like really many now. You can look it up on various artist sites, but like people draw her a lot these days. So I think that she potentially is the Camilla. We just don't know it yet because you know what I have to I have to ask you this. What what do you define as a Camilla?
Okay, so it depends on what you're looking for as a quote-unquote Camilla. A Camilla, by my, at least, standards, if we're talking, like with excluding character and all that, just a character that's the pure fan service one, because every game is gonna have that regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, games now these days, will have that, but unfortunately the trailer hasn't shown many different outfit designs outside, like for the students at least.
Yeah.
So, and they're all wearing the same generic shitty school uniform.
Oh,
I think looks
you know, Lucky Crit brought this up, and I also think that this is a very cool detail. That you see that all the students all wear the same uniform, but each of them have like a little bit touch up there on their uniform. You can see like with Bernadetta and Dorothea, they wear the same clothes, but Dorothea's style is a little bit different from Bernadetta. So you can see their
So first off, Dorothy has thicker thighs. Yeah. So that makes the difference. And she has a hat.
Yeah, a JoJo hat. I think
yes,
I think that got
to
be.
Hat.
I think that got to be a conscious decision on intelligence system part, because I don't believe if that is just a pure coincidence, because that hat actually that hat like clearly is the JoJo hat. This gotta be a conscious decision on their part.
Is that a JoJo reference? I'm sorry, but I had to do it.
It's a
JoJo reference. And also because we have female Morgan going through an emo phase as well.
Yeah, emo Morgan. We have like
emo Morgan. Emo Morgan.
It's
not a phase, Bob. It's who I am.
Yeah, you can say that to heroes right now. Okay, but what do I define as a Camilla? I think it's kind of like your definition is that the fan service character would be the Camilla, but I also mean that in the sense that that character must be specifically a girl. I'm not being sexist or anything. Like I expect all genders, but but whenever you think of a Camilla, you never think of a boy, because all boys are fan servicey. Because let's just be honest, just give them
call them Niles.
Yeah,
just call them Niles.
Niles. The equivalent to Camilla.
Call them the Niles. Because that, or you can just call them spring golfers, because that pack ain't lying, boy.
But but like on a serious note, the like you call like the boy fan service. It's just that you give them a supermodel body and an anime hair, and that's all you do. You make them fan service just like that, nothing more. So whenever you think of a Camilla character, you think of something. You think of someone like a girl, not a boy. And because of that, I think Dorothea fits all of that character perfectly. Because her appearance, like she has a tie, she has short skirt, she has cleavage, she has a JoJo hat.
I mean, them hips like, don't lie.
Yeah,
them hips don't lie, man.
Yeah, those hips, man. Those hips. Oh man, we are really starting to sound like perverts.
Oh, come on, it's the fun part of it. That's the fun part of streaming.
Let's just continue.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something I think you would agree with me on, is that even though all of our students are essentially villagers, they also have like their, you can call them reference skill, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like their own perks, before you can like twist things up and change them into something else. For example, you look at the Raphael, the like the buff dude with the shirt that like barely hold on. As you think of him, you look up him, you look at him, and the first thing you thought of is an armored knight.
Mm-hmm.
An armored knight or something like a butler or a like a boss, an X fighter, and I don't think she is an X fighter.
Arden.
Yeah, Arden. Like something akin to an armored knight, and the girl stand next to him, Leonie. I don't know how to say her name, but but like she clearly looks like the type of girl that would be your Pegasus Knight. But
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, short hair and like tight hips and like long legs. You know, your typical Russian Pegasus Knight. But because of those similarities to the archetypes that we have seen before in the other games, I think that they will have their own like preference before we twist things out and make them some other class. Like for example, I think like Raphael will be excel at a normal knight, although you can reclass him into something
gonna
else.
Be like Echoes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like Echoes, where it kind of hints at a specific class for the characters to be in, but you can still reclass them to whatever you want.
Yeah. Kevin Thompson said that Raphael is the Camilla of Treehouse.
You say that, and yet you forget Niles. You forget Niles.
Okay, so about the battle stuff, you know, this is something that I saw like very divisive on the community, especially like places like Fort Mang's own Discord server, and like Serene's Forest and some other places, is that they are afraid that the school setting of this game will just destroy the flow of the game, because as the narrator lady said in this trailer, that all the battles in the game will be like class exams or like class practice or like field trip for the students. And if all battles are like that, you know, minus when we get to the climax, because of course the climax will gonna be like traditional Fire Emblem, but they are afraid that the majority of the battles will be like that, and it will break the flow of the game. So what do you think of that?
So first off, I think that IS kind of realizes that, but we don't know how linear the game will be in the first place. You can worry about it, but let's be honest, we barely know anything about the main structure of the story. We just know the background, and we can only speculate what kind of plot we're going to get. Because let's be honest here, IS has time and time again broken their own formulas. They have broken it. The only consistent thing Fire Emblem has ever had is move this guy right here to stab them in the gut.
Yeah.
And then wait for them to survive the next turn.
Okay.
That's all it is. That's the only thing that's been consistent. The mechanics and the design of the story have been consistently changing. Holy War was completely expansive. Games
but like
Second Stone.
The core things still there. Like you just move a guy to another space and stop the other guy.
Pretty much. So that's the only thing that's ever been consistent in the series. It's always been experimental. It has never had anything solid, and nothing that really ever hit home per se to really get people want to get hitched on it.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to the story, I think it'll be somewhat linear, but also allow freedom for the player to have to kind of like at least have time to like fuck around. Because let's be honest, this is a school setting.
Yeah.
We want to dig our claws into Persona 5, into the Persona 5 bootleg that this will potentially be.
And
because
a little disclaimer that I haven't played Persona 5 yet, so
so for
you
context,
guys,
yeah. So for context, you could do events around the school and all of that. Your basic JRPG stuff. I can do. And just trying to have like an interactive environment, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I can already see it now. But okay, carry on.
If we're going to follow anything like Persona 5, it's going to slowly start with the school and then slowly expand the world more and more.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like what Tellius did. Like you were restricted to like the Grail mercenaries' home, and then slowly you kind of traveled more around, and you gained more experience with the world.
But
so
like speaking of Tellius, that their like their home base function in the game kind of works because like you can make a makeshift base everywhere, and you technically have a convoy with you because not everyone is Merlinus these days. So you like that kind of work because like in game they also talk about how like the Grey mercenaries travel here and there, and also not like consistently stay at one place, so they can make like makeshift base everywhere. So that kind of work in that setting, but because this is a school setting, I don't know if like something akin to those will work anymore, because if you compare the school to like a kind of home base, it will not work as like as smooth as you think, because like for example, like the things that I talked about at the beginning of the stream is that when the war broke out, the school has to be affected in some way, so you cannot make that your home base because it will restrict the things that you do before each battle when the war broke out, and it will eventually broke out because if there is not any war, it won't be Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem always about war and not like practice run on bandits and like rebellions and stuff. And like something I also want to address is that I don't how do I say this? I don't like the new battle interface. I really do. I don't like the new battle interface. Everything about the menu and the weapon selection screen, the battle predictions, the change, the tricks that they make. I don't like it because the old one was so much more like clear. You can see a whole lot of information that very clearly there, and this one looks like they just trying too hard to make this look cool or something, because like you got attack that was shot to 80k, you got like arts when before it was combat arts, you got Gambit, which I assume is the new name of the formation mechanic, because all the other folks on YouTube or when analyze this trailer always said that the formation thing was gone. Now it's Gambit. No, it does not go anywhere. It just rename into Gambit. Because that kind of work, because you when you think of a Gambit, you think of like something like a formation battle. So I think that's the new name of the formation mechanic, which I don't like because it already gave us misinformations about the core mechanic of the game. And other stuff is that the battle, like you the like the screen that you select your weapons to fight. Uh, First of all, the fonts, they changed the fonts, and I really hate the new fonts because the new fonts just looks like a buggy presentation of like the default font on Windows and not something in a really good game. So I really don't dig the font that much. And besides the lower right corner, we have the like the battle statistics, and they like categorize it into like a separate and square and stuff. But it does not it is not necessary to do that, because I can clearly see all the things I need in the previous version of this screen. It's so much more clear there, because now they just like stack the square everywhere like the modern UI of Windows 8. And like it's just really like it's like intelligent system hate me. It's what I say.
But I'm gonna say this yeah. much too. I certainly think that the Fire, trying to add something new. As I mentioned before, it has been always an experimental series, and it will continue attempting to try new stuff that it can solidify for later on. I personally I'm pretty neutral on the design choices. I'm going to kind of I want to play the game to see how well it sinks in. Personally speaking, I'm probably going to be fine with it because I usually adjust to things. I think that in this case that it'll be a little hard to get used to because it's a whole bunch of bright colors, and Fire Emblem isn't always known for having this really bright setting with everything being super colorful, with having really light shading and a lot of other stuff like that. So in my opinion,
fair, this is the first time that the Fire Emblem has gone to a strong console like Switch.
You say that, and yet Birthright exists. Yeah. You say that, and yet Birthright exists. So
okay.
So I think that it's just a matter of giving it a chance and trying to get used to it. And if it doesn't come over well, then I guess they'll go back to the grittier style.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I also agree with you on that front, because Fire Emblem is about war and it's not about like high school simulation stuff. So there's something that I really love about the combat system in this game. I'm not sure this will be called like combat system or what, but they I think like I don't know what to I don't know what to call this. Oh, there are the name of this function on the corner. It says set goals. So it is essentially like we choose for each character to learn what we want. And I see that they also like categorize the movement type and their abilities and their weapon types into like a single category. And I think that is a very smart move, because it will like nerf something and buff something. For example, like you do realize that because of this new system, we cannot have a unit that both riding a horse and wield both sword and lances. Now you can only like ride a horse and wield swords or wield lances or wield axes or wield bow or whatever. But like you can because I don't know if every character is the same, because they only show us Linhardt here, and Linhardt has like two like study slot. I don't know what it's called, but he only had two skill slot, and because of this, I think they will just like limit the weapon types that the characters can use. And I think this is a very smart way to change up the formula, because you know, before we have classes like Great Knights and like the face classes like Basara and other stuff like a Master of Arms that can wield like every type of weapon. And I personally, I don't like those classes, because if you give us like too much weapon to wield, I will have to first of all train the weapon rank up so that I can use that proper weapon that I want on that character. And second of all, like, the problem with too many weapons is that there will be like some scenario where you don't know what weapons to use, because it will essentially work the same way. And except you are like a very seasoned veteran on this game, who can like predict the flow of battle or something, you will know what weapon to use at that time. But if you are not, this will prove to be like a somewhat an obstacle to you, because you can like you use the iron axe to kill this guy with the same power and same accuracy as the iron sword. But because you wield an axe, the next turn there will be like a sword master come and fuck you up or something, because you cannot predict that, or at least you cannot see that in the like your mind, because like you are not that experienced with the Fire Emblem AI or whatever. People like Mecha or Mangs or Markijo probably will predict all of that and just like we be done with it. But to be honest, like, I like this new system because it gives both the veterans and the newbies a way to like balance the skills of the unit, and also have some kind of sensible strategy into each battle, because if you can just like give a unit too many types of weapon, you won't have to worry about the other units, and that will take away like part of the strategy part of the game. So what do you think about the new skill system, Crystal?
I mean, personally speaking, I'm all for it to see what happens. I like the idea of having a flexibility option and being able to maybe adjust the skills for different maps, but it also comes at the cost of having to like maybe manage time, because a core mechanic in games designed like that, in, you know, say Persona 5 and what it looks like to be here, there might be and this is assuming that you're maybe, I don't know, playing on higher difficulties.
Yeah.
You'll be having a time limit, and you're gonna have to make, you know, choices, because semesters always run for so long.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I can also see that they will use like the semester as like a plot reason for you to
balance
like,
out. So it's kind of a way to balance it out, unless you're playing on like filthy casual mode, and just trying to just trying to kind of relax with it.
Hey,
so,
I play Echoes on hard casual, so.
So who hasn't? Many newer players that weren't alienated by the prior trailer probably did, and I think that, you know, I think that if there's like a time limit and all that, it's going to like force you to make choices as an educator, and it'll like show you like, oh, I have to make this and this choice. This might be better to balance out the stats. I think that if having the fact that a lot of them probably having trainee BST will really help and kind of like bring out specific things. I mean, some students will probably have bigger potential for other stuff, but you'll still have the flexible choice of kind of doing that, because as we mentioned prior, I see it that Echoes, you know, had all of these villagers, you know, having trainee BST and all that, have the flexibility to be whatever they want. I mean, the first time I played Echoes, I ended up not turning Faye into a healer, but a Cavalier instead. And that worked out really well for me.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people turn Faye into a Cavalier too, because turned out that her stat line was like very good to be a Gold Knight.
Because, yeah, she had a lot of decent potential to be Cavalier, and it really worked out for many people. I have to say this much: I think that with the flexibility and perhaps a possible time limit, with how it is, it will, you know, force people to strategize more, while giving them the flexibility that they want. I'm sure that a lot of students and their personalities and archetypes will demonstrate, hey, this is the archetype they follow. This is probably the best class for them. Like that Arden knockoff from earlier that we saw in the trailer.
Oh, now you're speaking of it, I can definitely see that being a thing, because
it's gonna be like implying, hey, this is the better class for them. Choose this for them to bring out the best in them. But you can also be a total dick and turn the Arden knockoff into a mage.
I think there would be some kind of way to punish you in that way, though. But like, I like your idea that we will have like a semester to like prepare stuff for our units, because I think it will add a very interesting layer of like strategy into like micromanaging on these skills on the units. And things that you talk about, like you have to pay attention to what your student want, what their personalities and stuff, to determine their class on the battlefield, and those stuff. I think that will add to the fact that you are their teacher, and essentially those are the jobs that a teacher would do in real life. So if it will be like if it will actually be like that, it will be a really cool mechanic, and I can't wait to see what they would do with that in the future.
It certainly wouldn't be hard to implement, to say the least. I think that it would be easy enough to implement, and, you know, allow for that flexibility, since it's been done so many times.
Okay, so there are several types of new type of like weapons or skill we have to talk about. We have fighting, which is essentially like you punch people with a with a gauntlet, but
you get to punch people.
Yeah, but the best part is that you get to punch people on top of a horse.
Okay. We do that, but for Dorothea. Embrace the true JoJo memes.
Okay, folks, just capture this part, because I will rub it in Crystal's face when Treehouse came out. Okay, so we have fighting, which is like presented for the gauntlet type of weapons. We also have reason, which is I'm assuming it is a form of magic, and fate magic. I think is like the replacements of staff and light magic. We also have authority, which I think will be like affecting how yours like a little SWAT of units will perform on the battlefield. I think if you don't have the authority skill, your like formation of units, your formation of like troops will just perform like baseline combat abilities, and not like advanced abilities or something. And the last three is fairly obvious. So what do you think of the new weapon types and skill we have?
So, speculating off of like the whole faith and all that other stuff, there's been a massive demand to bring back the magic weapons triangle from the GBA games, and I could certainly see that being a thing. At least, either that or I'm completely wrong, and they just renewed the different weapon types for magic, like, you know, light, dark, fire, and all that, into these categories.
You know, I think that the magic in this game will be something akin to Echoes, like the Fate will be like the white magic, and Reason will be the black magic, and the black magic will separate into dark magic and animal magic, and something. Because you do see that there are two spell books icon in the Reason icon. So I think those are represented of like dark magic and animal magic. So
when I think about authority, I think about rally hordes.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I totally forgot about rally skill. And you know, like skills are like personal skills are a thing in this game, because we did see that Byleth has the Rat skill, and Bernadetta has like something like the I don't know what that skill icon be. It could totally be a whole new skill, but like you're right, maybe authority will affect those personal skills.
I could see it something like you remember how Hoshido had a massive variety of weapons, like the obligatory hexing rod that everybody hated.
Yeah.
I could see something akin to that in the authority class.
Oh, well, to be honest, I think that those will belong in like the fate category, more like the authority. But you know, anything can happen. Just carry on.
So I certainly think that, to say the least, I think that the authority class might be a potential rally horde to look forward to. And that I'm going to certainly enjoy fisting people on a consistent basis. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
You know, I will be waiting for your Cavalier Dorothy punching people.
If that happens, I will be so happy.
Yeah, be sure to screen cap it and send it into skill center.
Yes, because
I will hold you to that promise. I will hold you.
Go right ahead, hold me up to it if I can do it.
Okay, so we have a few more things to talk about, especially like the new support system in this game, because there clearly are a different support system.
And the question is, what support system? Because of the fact that there isn't really that much shown about it in the first place.
They just show like 10 seconds of it. Like it just mentioned that the students can interact with each other, and because of that they will have like a strong bond, quote unquote bond, on the battlefield, and that will affect their gambit. And
so
I don't know what to deduce of this. So what do you think?
So I want to bring this to attention. There are two things I can see happening with this. So you remember how in Echoes you could have these interactions one-on-one with the students when you get to villages and such? Imagine that. But imagine that with the Fates My Castle, and how you could have, you know, a couple of units exchanging lines of dialogue.
That would be really cool though. And
so they'll just
Face kind of did that, but just like some random things.
So I imagine something like that happening. So they're like, I don't know, discussing something about homework and how much of a total douchebag of a teacher you are.
Oh.
I
can totally see that, especially with like the edgy characters or something.
Yeah, and you could also interact with your students one-on-one. So I could see it as a potential opportunity for that, which is most likely what is going to happen in my opinion.
But if this new support system is all that, like all we can do to support our units is for them to like talk about each other hatred for Byleth during lunch, because if that is all we can do to support our unit, I will feel like this support system is very lackluster, to be honest.
It really just depends on how they execute it, because it could either go really well, really mediocre. I doubt it'll go poorly because it's a AAA game at this point, so they're gonna have to invest a lot into it.
Because to be honest, I prefer the old school style of support. That is, you put two units next to each other and they will raise their support level. I prefer that because you know like I start Fire Emblem like at the GBA game, so maybe I'm kind of an old school guy, but you know that's just me.
So with that in mention, as I have stated prior in the stream, I am someone who is going to try and keep a very flexible attitude in regards to what it is. I think that, to say the least, they might do something about the whole "I'm gonna kill this person because it's really hot so we can bond."
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, that was really bad. Yeah, like,
I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad because it's a consistent thing in the series at this point, but I do hope they kind of expand a bit from that to give more options.
Yeah, because like the supports back, like the supports back in like Awakening, or like some of those are really bad because like you know like the Chrome Sumia support like essentially is like I beg you pies, please marry me, okay. And, I mean, and like the Robin Chrome support is essentially like we see each other naked, let's get married.
You have to take it into account that some of the supports are kind of based to be more comedical as opposed to serious.
Yeah, but like a comedic support is something akin to like if I remember correctly, I believe like Sumia and Gaia's support from Awakening. That was a comedic support done right, because it has enough amount of like comedic effect, and it has the right kind of like interaction between the two of them, and I genuinely feel like they has like they has some kind of chemistry with each other, and because of that, I mean, of that, every time I replay Awakening, I always pair them with each other because their support was so good.
So I will say this much: I think that they should, definitely stick with the comedical supports in the style they did it in Fates, because it's really entertaining to see how these kind of
some of the supports in Fates are really good. And some of the supports in Face really adds to the character, like Sander supports or like Nick's supports. Yeah, but carry on.
I mean, personally, I do want to see, like, the whole comedical approach again, like it was, because don't get me wrong, I love Echo's support, but they were really lackluster and too short for my tasting.
Yeah,
like they were like,
yeah, the only comedic. Yeah, the only.
You could argue. You could definitely argue that they were more quote unquote organic and human, but I'll be honest, they were way too short to really, emphasize that, because there weren't that many supports to begin with unless your name is all Marcelica. And the fact that I don't know, Faye only got like 2 supports and she gets a lot of
Faye really got shafted, so she could be really more better. She only has support with like Silk and and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Because so she can only support with Silk and Olm. I really don't like the fact that those supports were limited, so they better not do. That's just gonna shaft characters, unless. In which case, sure, I guess you could argue it, but it takes away from the potential value, because the Fire Emblem community has always had a big tendency to look at what ifs and what there could have been and couldn't have been, to like make it the more quote unquote perfect Fire Emblem game. So it's kind of a thing to consider. I think that they're definitely going to take the Fates Awakening approach when it comes to supports, because they've definitely embraced the more anime-esque style.
Yeah, I think that the best way to make the supports in this game would be to like something akin to like Genealogy of the Holy War, or something more like FE7 support, like combined it with the writing of like some of the support in Face and Awakening, and the style of Echoes.
So here's what I want out of the supports in the support system. I want the in-between chapter discussions So if you're like traveling out somewhere, like the Telia's games did,
okay,
definitely have that.
yeah. That wow, that I think that support system is really good. That
I
like
think
the
that you
setting,
should also,
yeah.
keep the Fates Awakening style of supports to kind of keep consistent with it because it allows for more flexibility as opposed to being constricted to a battlefield.
Yeah.
Because
Oh
you know a lot of
Many of
a,
the supports in the owner
a
games
lot of
were
the
like
supports like
restricted to the context of the battlefield. Like, oh, we are battle this guy, but let's have a chat first.
yeah yeah
I always found that silly, but
yeah
I only
let's
like
just
the
casually
mechanical
chat,
the
yeah
mechanic part of it.
let's just casually chat here as I'm waiting for an enemy to approach me, miss me, and then I rip their ass. Like
Yeah.
people always complain about how Fire Emblem's trying to be realistic, and yet they forget that is a thing. So I like the approach because it's much more realistic because they're able to go off to like I don't know a village or something like that, but just be a little more proactive with how you show it.
Yeah,
And
I think it could go. I think it could go both ways. In the sense that in the school we will have like support conversations between characters as like casual people to each other, like
yeah, I really
talking to
like
each
that
other as
casual
well, like after school or something. Yeah. But
and
in the battlefield, we also have like the old school style support in the sense
yeah,
that
like you
okay, let's
feel
have
like
a quick chat while we are fighting this guy or something. Because
yeah,
you know on the battlefield, there is a fact that soldiers do talk to each other a lot, like talk about families, friends, their hobbies and such
yeah, no,
during battle,
like
and that's a
like
fact.
bring
And
at
that's a
least
fact.
bring at least brief mentions of it between characters.
Oh
Like
That is a that clearly is a function. That is clearly is a feature that I think many fans would want because like fans always complain about the consistency in Fire Emblem supports to each other and to the story because like for example like in the previous battle your lord can talk to this character about like how your lord like feel like this character is not serious enough on the battlefield, for example, and then in the next battle they have a conversation about this character don't put much effort into the battle, and like in immediately after that support we have another base conversation in that the lord talk about how that unit performed well in the last battle despite that you may not use him that well, you him her that well. I think there should be a like a system that keep track of the unit's performance on the battlefield, and that will affect the conversation they will have. The example that I just said, that maybe like A and B talking to each other at the base, and A talking about how they should look after each other's back on the battle, and like in the actual battle after that, those two units really did look after each other's back, like they fighting alongside each other or like they fighting in close proximity to each other, for example, and that will affect their next support conversation in the sense that a like thank B for looking out for him her in the previous battle, for example. But if you did not like put them in close proximity or like you did not like deploy one of them into the battle, for example, they will have a totally different next support conversation, and I think that is really easy to implement. That is really easy to implement. The problem is
there
that
is one thing.
you have to write all the supports, and you will have to preserve the space for all those supports. But I think
So
it is really easy to implement. So what's your thought?
I do want to add a little bit to what you just said, and I think that if you're deploying units alone, they should have an inner monologue thing where just shows their inner thoughts because a big thing that I've noticed when it comes to, you know, people when they want to argue about the humanization and the characterization of character, it's the fact that while they talk, you don't see their inner thoughts. So a good thing, like, just like, I don't know, if you're in the middle of a battlefield, have like a little, you know, an option to see, have like a little thought bubble pop up or something along those lines of like,
but
okay,
it will have, to make sense.
Thought.
But it will have to make sense in the context of the story, though, because you,
yeah,
if you are the avatar, you cannot see other people's thoughts, unless you are some kind of divine dragon or something. But if
like, I don't know,
the game don't have an avatar, then it would be an easy task, because you would just look at them as the perspective of the player, not an actual unit on the battlefield, and that would be easy to do. But because but since you are the avatar, and like you said, the avatar mechanic will not go away soon anytime.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
it's not going anywhere.
That's kind of hard to implement. Like the closest thing I find that similar to what you just said is the barracks feature in Awakening. Like, that essentially what you just said, but it's not like the free thought of those units before the battle. It's just like the casual conversation in the base, and sometimes they're like their thoughts out loud when nobody was watching or something. But like that features has the potential to be something akin to what you just said, but I still find that you will have to make sense of it in the context of the story, because you know, if you are the avatar, you cannot like look into other people's thoughts.
I mean, the whole Sophist thing can easily play into it. Like, you can read their minds. I mean, she can essentially read yours. I don't see a reason why you do it with Sophist.
Do you know you can read their minds? Why is that? Because of plot reasons.
No, just like, I don't know. Sophist kind of like casually butts in, and while Bailiff doesn't exactly get it, she can easily show the thoughts of other students to the player as opposed to Bailiff themselves.
Oh no, I really think that using Sophist to do that would be like more of a plot reason and convenience than anything, though, because like Sophist is essentially a divine dragon, and like she can do anything. And I feel like that is a lazy way to like do that mechanic. But you know, like, you gotta do what you gotta do. So
I mean, what would you possibly suggest as a better alternative?
Yeah,
apart from getting into the
yeah, I cannot
like
think. I cannot think of other alternatives. So
that's what I thought.
Let's just roll with it.
Let's get to the next subject, because we've been on this one for a while.
Yeah. Okay, I think that yeah, we just have two more things to talk about. The first is the possibility of a mirror stone wheel like mechanic return in this game. You see, like the scene after, like they show the coordinate gambit of Edelgard. The scene after that, we see like a inverted image of a bandit like chucking an axe into Ballet's back, and then something like time rewinding, and later on Ballet successfully like choke that attack. So because of that, like, many people think that thought that this would be like akin to something like a turn back time mechanic, akin to like the mirror stone wheel in Echoes. And considering that this game clearly borrow many things from Echoes, I would not be surprised if this is the quote-unquote hidden power that the narrator talked about in the beginning of the trailer that Ballet has. So what do you think of this?
I personally wouldn't be against it whatsoever, because let's consider this. School setting, extremely rich, has resources pouring in from 3 countries. I'm pretty sure we'll have some kind of magical voodoo item that lets us kind of turn back time. kind of like something akin to the Millis Turnwheel, but much less, obvious.
You know, I think a little different differently than you because in the beginning of the trailer, the narrator talk about how like you are a mercenary that follows your father's mercenary group. And later on you discover a hidden power within you, and that leads you to become a teacher at the monastery. And I think about that a lot because that could potentially give us how the story will gonna work. At least up until the part that we get accepted into the school as a teacher. I think it will go like this: you and your like mercenary group are doing some shit, then your avatar Violet will like spot someone in the middle of the wood. That will be Edelgar. That fighting that she is currently fighting off some bandits. You jump in the way, but you weren't like fast or flexible enough, and you got axed by that bandit and mortally wounded. But at that very moment, your hidden power, quote unquote, kick in, and you have the ability to rewind time like without your knowing, like you later on like have the knowledge of that like X shot that the bandit do on you, and you subconsciously block that shot. So like at that time you realize that there's something wrong going on, and maybe like when the bandit like mortally wounded you, you end up in that like black realm that you saw in the beginning of the trailer, like when the narrators spoke about like how you met Sotis. I think you met Sotis at that very exact moment when you were like essentially killed by the bandit, and then Sotis just revive you back and like give you this time travel power for some reason, and because of that you want to like or at least your father wants you to discover what this power is, or what it can do, and that leaves Violet and her father to the monastery because like let's face it, if anyone knows about divine power, it would be the church, because the church served the goddess. So they would go to the monastery to in search of answers for Violet's power, and because Edelgar, Dimitri, and Claw recognize you when you save Edelgar, like in the trailer. They will offer you like stay in the academy and teach them about swordsmanship or whatever, because clearly you saved them, and like clearly you are older than them. So like they will offer you like can you teach us in this academy, for example, and that's how you end up as the teacher of the academy. And I think that probably is really like easy to guess, because I'm along can like piece all this together in like 1 hour after the direct end. So what's your thoughts?
I mean, I'm personally down for whatever happens at this point. I don't have that much of an opinion in this regard.
Yeah, I forgot you. Like, if I ask you about like how much of how how wide will Dorothy's boobs will be, I think you will have an entire essay about it.
I will make an entire essay about why Dorothea's thighs are better than anything.
Okay.
Except for Azura.
Okay, so we will the last thing we need to talk about is the importance of the crest to this game story, because I believe that in the end of the trailer we also got like brief glimpses of like 2 crests, because the folks on Syrin's Forest also dissected this one already, that we could potentially saw like 2 family crests, or like the crests or whatever in the trailer. one is like a hand of someone with like some patterns on the back of the fist that are covering in like dark smokes, and the other one is like a ball of like molten fire that also emitting that smoke. So what do you so first of all I want to ask you, like, what do you think the crest will be, and second of all, what do you think the crest will what will it like what aspect of the game will it affect, because like the story or the game mechanic or something.
Well, I mean, for the most part, I think they're just gonna be, you know, the big old special item you need to get. You know, I forgot what the word for it is. Like, God, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's that like super special item that, you know, causes everything to change and all.
MacGuffins.
I guess.
MacGuffins. Yeah, I guess MacGuffins
I don't
is
know,
what you're looking for.
I think they're probably gonna like drive the plot for the story and all that, pretty much, because that's the whole point of them. They're like things of power, and so it's just like, oh, okay, well there you go. They're just gonna be the plot devices essentially driving the story.
Yeah, but you know, what about the game mechanics? Do you think that they will affect the game like the Dragon Veins in Phase, let's say? Because
I'm going to draw a comparison to a game I really love called Child of Light.
Okay.
So basically, in the story, once you get these special items, they're essentially like power-ups. In regards to that they have special abilities.
Oh yeah, I also think
so whether or not you choose to, like, I don't know, say destroy the crests or something. So let's just say you don't. If that's even a thing in the story.
I don't think that intelligence system will give you like this much liberty. I would think that they would just
I don't, but let's just assume that you get special benefits from them along with certain drawbacks. Like, I don't know, for example, you have a crest that boosts your attack and speed out the wazoo, but you also take a health detriment.
Okay, so along with kind of like a legendary weapon. Yeah, because,
I guess.
Like more specifically in Fire Emblem terms, a regalia, because like that what essentially regalias do, because regalias is just like items you can equip that like raise your stat or like have drawbacks or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I see.
Yeah.
If you don't destroy them already.
I think that the crest will act something like the Dragon Veins in Phase, because like I believe like they make a very clear emphasis on the crest in the previous trailer as the things that corrupt the nations or people or something, like the crest are to blame, all that kind of stuff. And I think that because the crest holds the power of the noble houses in Falkland, and that in the sense that the crest, like you said, give each member of the houses special powers, and because of those special powers, it can affect the battles that they participate, just like Dragon Veins. What I am propose here is that like you said, like the crest will give the units that have the crest, or like from the house that the crest originate from, certain like abilities, I don't know, like certain like special powers akin to the Dragon Veins that can like for example, like there will be a crest that like essentially a nature crest, or for example. So you have a unit from that house in a like a setting like a grassland map, and because of the grassland map and because that unit is present in your army, when you deploy it, it will have an effect like that unit can cross water with no penalties, or all of your units approximately like 2 space apart from them will also cross water without any penalty, for example. like I think they will affect the games as something like that, but because I am being like really like what's the word, optimistic here, and because that sounds a little bit too much for them to do. I will be honest, that sounds a little bit too much because we already have many things like the new support system, like the new formation, the gambit, the combat arts, the new weapon types, and like all the other stuff. So if they can really do something like I said, it will be really nice. But like it will, I think it will create more problems than the actual gameplay mechanics. So I will not like bet and everything of my own into that door. But you know I can wish for something good.
I'm just expecting the game to scream tutorials at me like half the time.
Okay, so I think that's I believe that is like the last topic that we talk about. You know they have like a special edition called Seasons of Warfare. I don't know if it will be available in Vietnam because like in here in my country in Vietnam, we don't have like official support from Nintendo. We just have like companies that represent certain IPs here. Like for example, like I talked to you about this. There are like a company that hold the rights to every Pokemon properties in Vietnam, but not Pokemon company themselves. They only have contacts with Pokemon company, like all that for example. But about Fire Emblem and about all the Nintendo franchises for in general, they don't have like any representatives in Vietnam. So the only way that we can play the official Nintendo stuff is through like shops, like local game store that import, then they manually import the products like in like short supplies, and because they like don't have official support, the price really like usually higher than the international prices you guys got. So I don't know if they will import this Seasons of Warfare edition because I really want that steelbook. They will really look really good on my on my shelf. Because I have the money to buy that. I have the money to buy that, but the important thing is like will they be present in here? so that I can buy, because I don't want to go on Amazon and I have to charge like extra $10 for like shipping fees and but I think the important question is will you get this game when this came out, or you will wait for like opinions on this game to get it?
So I'm a total Fire Emblem man, so I'm going to attempt to pre-order it as soon as I get the money for it. Because right now I am broke all to hell.
Yeah, you told me that already.
But I'll look towards getting a means for money, assuming everything in my college life goes properly.
Yeah, I think that your college life will go well.
Hopefully.
You just have to believe.
Believe in the power of friendship and see how well that goes.
Okay, so to close out this stream, let me just ask you one last question.
Sure, shoot.
What is your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the game so far? Like after this trailer and after everything that we have discussed about.
I want to so I want to look forward to it, but I'm going to stay a little wary about it because at the same time, you know, there are probably going to be some things that I may or may not like. I'm pretty neutral towards, you know, say the art style, for example. I'm pretty neutral towards that. It's just a matter of getting used to it. Gameplay, I can't really have that much of an opinion on it because they haven't revealed all the massive details about it just yet. But I will assume that pair-up exists, which will still make me very happy.
Yeah.
I love the mechanic, but I just hope that they balance it out. I want to say that the designs for a lot of the characters, if we're like excluding the generic school outfits, which mind you I think look pretty I think that we'll be looking forward to a lot of fun stuff in the future. I'm going to buy the game regardless, even if it is quote unquote bad.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's,
but
in the end of the day, is Fire Emblem, and if it is Fire Emblem, there will be some strategy in it, and if there is strategy, there will be people buying it for sure, and if the people not buying it for the strategy, they will buy it for the waifus. You know
I
that.
see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so like I think this game is gonna make a bang. Despite it will be like potentially bad or something. Like, we won't know that for sure. Yeah.
So we'll definitely see what the game has to provide in the future. I definitely think that it's going to be a big splash like Fates was in terms of like varying opinions, because I'm going to say outright, not every Fire Emblem game is for everyone. Never has been the case, never will be. Some games appeal much more to others. We will see what Three Houses does, because we don't know what personal direction it will take. Will it take a much more linear approach? Will it be much more flexible? We shall see. And we shall see how this affects the community. Will it divide us further or bring us together?
Yeah, I think regardless, it will divide us further. Because like you are not a true Fire Emblem fan if you don't hate the game. But like on jokes aside, like my thoughts on this game is like kind of the same as you, because like I also looking forward to this game. Like I am really hyped for each trailer, and I am really hopeful for like the story of the game, because you know I am a story guy when it comes to any game, not just Fire Emblem, and that's why I love Sacred Stone and like I love Shadows of Valentia. But I will be a little bit worried about some of the decision they have made in the game, like compared to like the previous trailer we saw. But I will like for the most part I will be optimistic and like looking forward to it with a cautious eye. And yeah, sure, I will definitely buy it on like the week it came out, because like I also have work and stuff. Okay, so I think that might as well conclude our streams. Okay, so let's
thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, thank all of you for tuning in, because this is the first time that I do a podcast that in 100% like English like this. I am very nervous, because potentially there will be a lot of folks from Skill Center in here, but turns out there are not that many, so I kind of happy about that. But at the same time, like I want to give my thanks to Crystal for like joining me in this discussion, because
and I thank you for including me.
Yeah, it has been an honor, because I have zero to no friends who like knowledgeable about Fire Emblem like as you, and because you have like such a open and optimistic look towards the series. Yeah. So, yeah, it's getting awkward. Okay, so let's just close out with my usual outro. If you like this video, like this live stream, please give it a thumbs up. You don't like it, give this a thumbs down. I don't care that much. But if you want to see more of my videos that are for not just Vietnamese, for everyone, like my silent stream, my silent playthroughs or whatever, hit that subscribe button. Because I don't need many subscribers, but each one counts. Yeah. So
and thank you for tuning in, Nguyen, and anybody else who's in the stream. Thank you.
Thank you all. So I guess we will be seeing you in the future if there will be a podcast like this again. So yeah, goodbye everyone. Peace.
You.
Okay, stop screen.